Good afternoon, guys. Open your books, everyone. Okay, have you checked the software which has been uploaded in the classroom? Have you checked? Okay, so how many of you guys have installed it? I know late night I have uploaded it, but how many of you guys have done? Good. So others, let me inform that I have updated the software in the classroom. Please kindly check it and install it by today end of the day. Okay. So go through all the examples that what we have seen in the last class, just revise once. So execution part is what we have started, right? So by using the command prompt, we have seen that how to create a table and how to insert the records inside that particular table. So that is what the practical execution which we have seen in the last class. So in today's session, we have to see more about the practicals. Maintain silence, everyone. So more practicals like how we can check the data. See, we have created a table and we have inserted the records inside that particular table. But also we have to be able to see that whatever the records that we have inserted inside the table, right? So that part, which is nothing but the fetching part, which is nothing but the retrieving part, we have not done still. We have just created one table. We have inserted the 5 records inside that particular table. But what we need to do now, our task is we have to fetch that data. We have to see that data or see that facts and figures which we have inserted inside the table. Okay, so that task is what we have to do it. So everyone, if you have that SQL book, if you see, there is something called as an selection and projection in the books. Can you see it? In the page number 17. In the page number 17, can you see? Yes. So we have something called as a fetching or selecting of the particular data. So in that, if you see, there are 2 things. One is a projection queries, one is a selection queries. So what exactly it is, we will see it. But before that, we have to know that how exactly we can get the particular data which is present inside the table. So whatever the records which we have inserted in the last class, so first try to display that particular records. Okay. So this don't write in your notes in any of the questions as a separate. If you have a page, empty page in that book, there you can write it. Okay. So now what is our task? We have to fetch the data which we have inserted inside the table. So whatever the 3 records which we have inserted by using the 3 types of an insertion, that is what we have to see. Now, while creating a table, we have said one thing called as a create. Yes, whenever we want to create one table, we have used one word called as a create. Yes, by using that create only, we have created the table. So that create what we have used, that create in SQL, it is technically called as a command. Create whatever we have used, create table name we have given, right? In that create word what we have, that is technically called as what? As a command. And while inserting the records into the table, we have said one word called as an insert. We have said one word called as an insert. So that insert word also technically we will be calling that as a command. So in the entire SQL, any operation if we wanted to do, let it be creating a table, let it be inserting the records, or let it be any other set of operations that we wanted to do it. So everything we can achieve just by using the commands. So every operation in Oracle which we will be doing is by using the commands. So all these words, create, insert, all these are technically called as what? Commands. So like this, many commands you will be seeing, a set of commands also you will be seeing. But right now, so far we have seen two commands. One is create command and one is insert command. And while creating a table, we said, right, create a table we have said. We have used one word called as a table, correct? So that table word what we have, that is called as a keyword. So that is called as what? Keyword. Create is called as a command and table what we have said, that is called as what? As a keyword. Please put an arrow mark in the creation and write it down. Create, it is called as a command. Create, put one. Put one. For the create, put arrow mark and write it as a command. For table, put arrow mark and write it as a keyword. Keyword. You have written the creation of the table, right? Create a table, student, you have written, right? There. You have written create a table, student, example you have written, right? So there you put for the create as a command and for the table as a keyword. Next, while inserting, you have used the word called as an insert, right? Insert. So there put arrow mark and write it as a command. Done. Insert, into we have said, right? Into we have said, right? That into is nothing but that is also is a keyword. That is also is a keyword. Insert into we have used. That into is nothing but it is a keyword. See guys, at the time of the creation, at the time of insertion, you have written the commands, right? You have written it or you have not written it. I can see lot of confusions in the face that where we have written it exactly. That is what the question mark that I'm seeing in few of the students' faces. Creation of the table you have written, right? Yesterday also I said you guys to write it. Yesterday also that insertion, 3 types of an insertions you would have been written, right? So there that insert is called as a command, into word what we have used, that is called as a keyword. Values also we have, right? So that values also is called as a keyword. Values. In the insert statement, values word what we have, that is called as a keyword. Into also is a keyword. Okay. So whatever in Oracle that we will be doing or in an SQL we will be doing, completely we will be using this commands, keywords, that only to perform any set of operations. Okay. So now the task is we have to do what? We have to fetch our data. So if we want to fetch our data also, we have to use one command. We have to use one command. Why we have to go to that particular table? We have to take up the data, means we have to take that data and we have to display it, means retrieving it or fetching it. So that task we have to do it. So to do that task, we have one command, that is a select command. So what command? Select command. So again, I am telling, use the terminologies properly. Select is called as what here? It is one command. And this select is a command which will be performing the operation, that is, it will go to the table from whichever, because we will be having multiple tables. So we have to clearly tell also that from where we have to go and what we have to fetch it. Because it's a software. What and all we wanted to do it, that everything in terms of the query, we have to tell it properly. Now, this select command, what we have, this select command will be doing two tasks. First task is, it will go to the table. After going to the table, it will select that facts and figures. What it will do first, it will select that facts and figures. After selecting that facts and figures, it will display that facts and figures as an output to us. So select command will be doing two tasks, selecting that facts and figures and displaying that facts and figures. So these two tasks are done by this select command. And now we are telling here as what? As a select. But we should also tell to the software that what we wanted to select. Yes or no? Because directly if we tell as a select, multiple tables will be there. Multiple facts and figures will be there. The software will not understand that where it has to go and what it has to select. Command selection is what its duty is. But what to select, it will not know. So that also we have to tell it specifically. So here I will tell as a select and I will tell here select, I want you to select the name and I want you to select the age. I want you to select the gender and I want you to select the ID. So whatever you wanted to select, again, it is not fact. This facts and figures where it is present in the columns. Facts and figures, whatever we have inserted to what? To the columns, right? So that column names, if we specify, then inside that columns, what and all the facts and figures we have, that everything will be selected and it will be displayed. So here I am telling, select the name, select the age, select the gender and select the ID. I am telling what I have to select, but don't you think it is our responsibility to tell from which table we have to select this fact or from which table we have to select this particular columns? Because it's not like we will be having only one table. So multiple tables will be present. So we need to tell select name, age, gender, ID from which table. So here we have to tell from which table, that table name we have to specify. So what and all we are telling here? We are telling select name, age, gender, ID from which table. So this much if you tell and if you execute the query correctly, it will go to that table. After going to that table, this select command, it will select all these columns and the data which is present inside that, and it will display that particular data, or it will display that particular facts and figures. Online students, is my voice is audible properly to you guys? Online students, is my voice is properly audible to you guys? Okay, so for whom it is breaking, please kindly check your system connection as well. And this is how the standard, the query that we have to write. First, we have to tell the select command. Then what we have to select, we need to tell. And from which table we have to select, that also we have to tell. But here one thing that you need to understand whenever you're writing up the query is how internally it is getting executed. How internally it is getting executed. So here, whenever you're writing up the query, this is how that you have to follow. You cannot tell first I will tell from with table and then I will use that select command. No. You have to write up the query in this manner only. First you have to tell that select and then only you have to tell the from. But internally how it will be executing is, first it will go to the table. Because without going to the table, how it will select? So internally, first it will go to the table. Because without going to the table, we cannot select any data. So after going to that table only, it will select the values or it will select the things that what we have specified, and then it will be displaying that particular facts and figures to us. But while writing, how you have to write? First you have to tell the select and then only you have to tell the from. But internally, which statement will get executed first? From statement. Why? Because first we have to go to the table. After going to the table only, we can select whatever we want and then only it can display that fact and figure. So this is how we can fetch the data and this is how we have to retrieve our data. But multiple efficient ways we have and multiple approaches we have and multiple requirements we can have. It is not like I want everything like name, age, gender and ID, everything. So it depends on the requirement also, what exactly the data we wanted to display, what we should not display. So multiple requirements we have, multiple approaches we have, efficient ways we have to do it. So that is what you will be learning in this entire SQL. Creation of the table and inserting that facts and figures, it is a general thing, which is important. But after this, what you will be doing? Everything which you will be learning is how efficiently you will be fetching that particular facts and figures. Because creation and insertion will not change. Whatever you have learned, that will remain constant. But how efficiently you are writing up the query, how efficiently you are fetching up the data according to our requirement, that is what that you will be learning. So this is how normal basic one, how can we select a particular facts and figures or how can we retrieve that facts and figures from the table. Okay, so if you have a page, any empty page, okay, so there you can write down this particular query. I will execute this practically and I'll show, then we'll move to that practical queries which we have in your notes. So copy down this. Okay. So tell me, so first what we have to do once we have opened our command prompt. So we have to connect it to our SQL first. Then only the operations like creating or inserting or fetching, all that we can do it. The first task is we need to connect to our SQL. So here it will be asking what? It will be asking the username and it will be asking the password. So username, what we have to give? System. Password? System. So everything will be present in the lower case. And can you see that it is connected? So now you can perform the operations. So now in the yesterday's class only we have created the student table and we have inserted the 3 records inside that table. So now we'll execute the same query that what I have written on the board. That is what and all we have inside that student table. Let us try to fetch that particular columns along with the facts and figures. So what command I need to use if I want to fetch the data? Select command. And what and all we have to select? Name, age, gender, ID. And then from which table we need to select all this? From the student table. So now if we wanted to execute this, then we have to give the semicolon so that that statement will get terminated and we will be getting the output. So I'll give a semicolon here and I'll click on enter. See here, why it is coming no rows selected. We have inserted the records in the last class, right? So 3 records we have inserted. But now if you see that in the command prompt, whenever I am trying to fetch the data, I am not getting what I have inserted. Can you see that a table is remaining? That is why we are not getting, as table does not exist. All that we are not getting. Table is there. Whatever the structure we have created, that a table is present. But the records that what we have inserted inside the table, it is not present. But yesterday clearly it was showing, right? 1 row created, 1 row created, 1 row created. So that is what we have got it in the yesterday's class. But now why that data, why that facts and figures are not present here is because whenever we are using with the command prompt, how to terminate one statement, semicolon is mandatory. And how to perform the certain operations, first connecting is mandatory, like that. Whenever we are inserting any records into the table, at that time we have to use one command, that is a commit command. Why? Because to store our data permanently inside that particular table. Probably you would have been heard the words called as a volatile, non-volatile, all that, right? So there what happens if you want your data, or if power goes, if your data to be remain as it is. So certain operations you have to do it. So here also, since I have closed that application, I have closed the command prompt and I have opened it. So it is equivalent to nothing but shutting down the application. So that is why whatever the records that I have given, that records are vanished. That records will not be present. Until and unless you tell that commit, it will not be permanently saved in your table when it comes to the command prompt. So after inserting, what you need to do? You have to give that commit command. So first I will try to insert here. I will tell here as an insert into the student. I'll give the certain values here. So what are the values we have given? 25, male, ID 101 I will give. So you can see that again I am inserting that particular record and I will give semicolon here, enter. You can see that 1 row is created. So once it is done, it is not like after every statement you have to tell. No, before closing your application, once you tell that commit command also, it is sufficient. So before that, what and all the operations you would have been done, that everything will be present. So here I will tell that a commit command. See, we have to tell as what? Commit. And once that is done, give the semicolon and click on enter. Can you see what we are getting? Now we are getting as commit completed. So now if you close your command prompt, after 10 days, 15 days, if you come and if you open your command prompt also, whatever the data that what we have inserted, the records will remain as it is. It will not get vanished. So if you want to permanently save our data inside the table in the command prompt, which command we have to use? Commit command. So what commit command will be doing here? It will save your data permanently inside your table. Okay, so take down that command, commit command in your notes and write down 1 point for that. Commit command will save the facts and figures, permanently inside the table. Permanently inside the table. Permanently inside the table. Okay. So now I have inserted one record. Now I will close this command prompt. Okay. Now, once again, when I open, that record should be present, right? Because why? We have said that commit command here. So I'll just close this. Again, I will go to the start and here I'll go and I will open the SQL command. So you can change the font size of your command prompt. Just keep your cursor here. Right click. If you go, you have something called as a properties. In the properties, font is there. So if you want to change the size or if you want to change the style, that is a font family, that everything you can do it. Once you click on that font, okay, and okay, you have to click, the font size will be changed. So now I will connect it. So here, I'll give the username, password. So you can see now it is connected. Yes. Now that same command I will tell, that is select. What and all we have to select? Name, age, gender, ID. From which table? From the student table. Semicolon and I'll click enter. Now can you see the record? Now can you see the record? So this is because we have used that commit command here. If you are not using that, then how many records you give, how many operations you perform, then that will not be present once you reopen your application. Especially in where? In the command prompt. Is it clear that how to fetch the data now? Many ways are there, but basic one. So now you have understood how to create a table, how to specify the columns along with the data type, all the 3 types of an insertions, and how to fetch the records from the table. Is all these 3 things are clear to everyone? Yes. So now go through that practical questions, page number 17, everyone. So there, can you read some of the questions are present? I am reading the first question. Online students, do you guys have that books with you? You have, right? So few of them are telling as an yes, few of them are telling as a no. Okay. So those who don't have, you can write up the question. Maintain silence, guys. Those who have a book, you can read out the question there. Those who don't have the book, I will dictate the question. Please write down that question into your notes. I don't want any noise. Again, I am telling, I don't want any noise from anyone. Those who have a books, read it down the questions, not loudly, read it slowly. Those who don't have the book, I will give you some of the questions, write it down. First question, take down. First question in your notes, take down. Write a query. Write a query to display name from the student table. Name from the student table. Again, I am repeating the question. Write a query to display name from the student table. This is a first question. Leave some space to write down the query. Take down the next question. Leave some space to write down the query. Take down the next question. Write a query to display. Write a query to display name, age, gender from student table. From student table. Second question, I am repeating once again. Write a query to display name, age, gender from the student table. From the student table. Leave some space and take down the next question. Leave some space and take down the next question. That is third question. Write a query to display all the data from student table. All the data from student table. All the data from student table. Again, I am repeating the third question. Write a query to display all the data from student table. All the data from student table. Leave some space and take down the fourth question. Leave some space and take down the fourth question. Write a query to display. Write a query to display name of a student. Name of a student whose age is 22. Whose age is 22. Again, I am repeating the fourth question. Write a query to display name of student whose age is 22. Whose age is 22. Leave some space and take down the next question. Fifth question. Leave some space to write down the query and take down the fifth question. Write a query to display. Write a query to display details of students. Details of students whose gender is male. Whose gender is male. Again, I am repeating the fifth question. Write a query to display details of the students whose gender is male. Whose gender is male. Leave some space and take down the sixth question. Leave some space and take down the sixth question. Write a query to display. Write a query to display details of students. Details of students who scored greater than 60 marks. Who scored greater than 60 marks. Again, I am repeating the question. Write a query to display details of students who scored greater than 60 marks. So total how many questions? 6 questions. So can you try to write up the query for that? Try it out. Don't copy with your friends. Please kindly read the question. If you're not understanding, read it twice. But you have already the reference with you, how to write up the query. So just give a try. How to display the only columns. For that only columns. For that we have one command that I will tell. One command we have to provide the description of the table. Okay. But we can display it along with the data types, along with the size and the name of the table. Everything we can display, not facts and figures, only the table. Try it out. Read the questions. I have given the time to read the questions and to write, not to sit and talk. And I don't want anyone to discuss with anyone. Open your books. You have your own books, right? So read the question and try to analyze how you can write up the query for that. Completed, guys? You guys only completed? All the questions, all the 6 questions completed? Can I check? Read down the question and write down the queries. We'll share it, Madhuri. By end of the day, you will be getting that reference for online students. We will post it in the classroom. Okay, guys, everyone listen here. So now let us try to execute all the queries. Okay. So before that, so based on our queries, we have to create a table. Okay, because if you see that we have a marks, but marks in our student table we don't have. Right? Whatever the student table, do we have a marks inside that? No. So when we don't have that marks, we cannot fetch it also. So what I will do now, whatever the table, that a student table I have created, that student table I will remove. Why? Because if already one table with the name called as a student if we have, then again we cannot create any table with the same name. It's a rule. Always for every table we have to give what? We have to give the unique name only. So now I will show you guys that once you create a table, how can you remove that particular table? And again, remember, if you're removing a table, then whatever the records that you would have been inserted inside that table, that also will be removed. So entire table, the columns, the values, whatever is present inside the table, everything will be removed. So if you want to remove the tables, then for that also we have to use one command. Like how to create we have used the create command. To insert, we have used the insert command. And to save our data permanently inside a table, we have used the commit command. And to fetch means to select the data and to display, we have used the select command. So in the similar manner, if you want to remove any table which is already present inside our table, then we have to use one command, that is a drop command. We have to use one command, that is a drop command. Why we have to go for the drop command? If you want to remove any table from our system. So now I want to create a student table again with the proper columns. So already I have one. So once again, I cannot create a table with the same name. So that is why what I am doing now, I am removing that particular table. So once you remove, then everything, columns, values, everything will be removed permanently. Once you delete your table, you cannot get it back. Remember that point. Again, I am repeating, once you delete your table, once you remove your table, you cannot get back that table. So make sure whenever you are using this drop command, you cross verify once that what exactly that we are deleting. Once you delete a table, you cannot get it back again. So here you have to tell drop. What we want to drop? That student, whatever it is a table, right? So we have to tell drop. What I want to drop is, I want to drop one table. And then we have to tell what is the name of that particular table. So drop table. What is the name of the table? Student. I'll give a semicolon here and I'll click enter. Can you see? Table is dropped. So now whatever the table we have created, whatever the record we have inserted, that everything will be removed. Now it is not present. So now you can create the table once again with the name as a student. Is it clear how to remove up the table once you create? If you want to recreate the table once again, so which command you will be using? Drop table and a table name. Yes. So take down the heading in any of the empty page if you have. Removing a table. Removing a table permanently. Heading you can take removing a table permanently. And then take down this statement. Example. Done. So now let us create the table once again. So here I will tell us create table student. And then what and all I will keep here is I will keep one ID. Okay. And for this ID, I will just give the data type as a number. And then I will take one more column, that is a name column. The data type I will give as a varchar 2. And here I will give as a 15. And I will give the age here. So age I will give as an int, or you can give as a number also. Next, I will take the gender. So gender here I will tell as care of 1. So again, it depends. If you want to store the gender completely, then you have to specify the size properly. If you want only to store as an M or F like that, you can give the size as 1. So it depends on the data that what you have. Based on that, you have to give up the size for the gender. Okay. So next, at last, I will take the marks as well. So marks here I will give as a number. So if at all, if we have the marks in the decimal points like that, everything we can store if we have the number data type. So that is why here for the marks I have given the data type as number. So I'll close this, semicolon, enter. Can you see table now it is created. So now let us insert the certain records inside the table. So tell me what I need to tell here. Insert into student values. So we have to give the certain values here. Okay, sorry. So first ID we have. So here I will give as 101. So next what we have? Name we have. So we have to give the name. Next what we have? Age we have. Next what we have? Gender we have. So here I will tell as M. And the next what we have? Marks. So I'll give as an 80. So marks I have given as 80. And then I will give the semicolon here, enter. So one record is inserted. So one more record I will insert here. See now in the command prompt. Now again, instead of typing insert, you will be having that arrow buttons, right? Up and down arrow buttons. So just click that arrow button. Then whatever the statement you have typed previously, that statement you will get. Then directly go there and you can modify it. Okay. But every time you have to tell as an insert into, insert into. There is no option in Oracle that all the records at a time to be inserted. Every time you have to tell as what? Insert into the student only you have to tell. But one, to save the time, what you can do, that arrow mark if you click, then that previous statement you will be getting it. So once you get the previous statement, go there and you can directly modify it. So here I will give as 21. So male I will give and the marks I will give around 50. Okay, so this is the second row. So I'll just click on enter. So one more row got inserted here. So one more row I will insert. So here I will tell as a 3. And here I will give as a Ramya. And here I will give as 23. Gender as a female. Marks as 90. One record is inserted. I actually gave it randomly, but after seeing you guys, I remembered, okay, so girls, so that is why 90 marks. Nothing like that. Randomly I gave. So 90 marks. So how many records we have right now? 3 records. But if you want to save this permanently, one thing we have to remember. What is that? Commit. Because by mistake, if we close our command prompt also, that data will get vanished. So what we need to tell here? Commit, semicolon, enter. Okay. So now let us start executing all the queries. So what is the first question? Write a query to display name from the student table. So what and all they are asking here? Only the name, correct? So what I need to tell here? Select name from student. So what this will display? Only the name, because in the question they have asked only to display the name from the student table. So I'll click on the enter here. Can you see here? Only the name it is displaying. We have other columns also inside the table, but is it displaying? No. Is it displaying? No. Why? Because in the select statement, we have said only to display the name. So next question. Write a query to display name, age, gender from student table. So select the, tell the query, select name, age, gender from student. Semicolon. So now all that three columns what we have specified, name, age and gender, that will be displayed. Can you see? Name, age and gender. Everyone has written this query. So third one, write a query to display all the data from the student table. So listen here. In the question, whenever they are asking as to display all the data from the any of the table, not only the student table, it can be any table. But if they are asking all the details to be displayed, the normal approach is nothing but specifying all the columns. So whatever the columns we have inside the table, right now what and all we have? ID we have, name we have, age we have, gender, marks. So these are the things that which we have inside our student table. So this is the first approach. So whenever they ask you guys to display everything which is present in the specified table, then all the columns, let that table contain one column or let that table contain 10 columns or 100 columns. What you need to do, you need to specify all of them. This is the first and basic approach. This is the first and basic approach. So here I will tell us from student. Student, semicolon I will give here and then enter. Now can you see that every data is displaying? Everything is displaying. So as I said, this is what? This is a basic and first approach of displaying all the data which is present inside the table. But if we have 200 columns, if we have lakhs together of columns, we cannot every time sit and tell or specify all the columns, right? Yes or no? So that is why the Oracle is providing us one more approach or operator, that is a star operator. If we want to select every data, if we want to display every data which is present inside that table, then instead of sitting and specifying all the columns, what we can do? We can use that star operator. So what star operator here it will do? It will select all the columns which are present inside that table. So see here, select star from student. Semicolon, enter. Can you see, is there any difference between this output and this output? No. So which is efficient here? Star one. So in any question, if they ask to display all the details, then blindly you can use this star operator. Is it clear to everyone? Everyone, is it clear? So tell me the next question. Write a query to display name of student whose age is 22. Whose age is 22. So now tell me what and all they are asking to display. Only the name they are asking to display. But in that also they are giving one condition. What is that condition? That the age of that particular student should be what? 22. Then only we have to display the name of that particular student. Is question is clear to everyone that what they are asking? Because before writing up the query, understanding the question is very, very much important. So everyone, did you guys understood what they are asking or what is their expectation in the question? So now, first, as I said, we have to tell the select. Then we have to tell the from. So tell me what they are asking to select. Name. From which table? From student table. Till here it is a normal one. Select the name from the student table. Yes, but they are giving one condition. What is that condition? They are telling that age should be 22 only. So like this, in the question, whenever they are giving any such kind of the conditions, that name should be this only, age should be this only, marks should be this only. So whenever they are giving that condition, we have to use one clause. CLAUSE, clause. That is where clause. That is where clause. See here, where also it is an inbuilt keyword only. Okay, it is an inbuilt keyword. How we will tell keywords? Inbuilt keywords. But in Oracle, what they will do is, they have given some specific names for them. That's all. So for where, what you have to tell? Where? That is a condition. I'm asking the terminology. What you will tell for where? Clause. For create? Command. For table word? Keyword. So remember this terminologies. So where we have to give the condition. So what is a condition? Where age is equals to 22. So this is how that conditions we have to give. Where age equals to 22. So tell me, inside our table, do we have any age as a 22? Do we have inside our table 22? No. So I will give semicolon here and I will enter. Can you see what output I am getting here? No rows selected. Why? Because we don't have any person whose age is 22. So here it will completely depend on us. If you are giving the condition properly, wherever that condition is getting satisfied, it will return the output. If that condition is not getting satisfied, then what it will do? It will return as no rows selected. Did you understand how to give the condition? By using what you will be giving the condition? By using the where clause. And tell me, how, in which order you will give while writing the query? First select you have to give, then from you have to give, then only you have to give where. Remember this flow. First select, then from, then only where. If you if you interchange, it will throw an error to you guys. Is this query and the question both are clear to you? Everyone? Yes? Anyone wants to write? Shall we go to the next one? So next one, by this time you would have been understood how exactly you can give. So tell me the next question. Query to display the details of student whose gender is male. So tell me, they are asking to display the details. How do you write up the query here? select star. Why star? Because all the details is what they have asked. And from which table? From the student table. And what condition they have given? Where gender equals to male. But inside our table, how do we have a male? Single character. So that only we have to give. And that should be present in the single quotes. So here I will tell as M. Tell me how many records it will give to us now. 2. Why? Because 2 male are present inside our student table. So here I'll give a semicolon, enter. Can you see how many records it is giving? 2 records. That too only wherever the gender is male. That is M. Is this question and the query is clear to everyone? Anyone have any doubt in this question and the query? No? Next one. Same. So select star from student where marks greater than 60. Tell me how many rows it will fetch? Greater than 60 is what we are telling, right? So how many rows? 2 rows. So which and all? One is 80 and one is 90. So 50 is not greater than 60. So how many records? 2 records it will be displaying. Can you see? So this is how, based on our requirement, we can give the conditions and we can filter out the rows and we can fetch the data. All these are very basic things. As we go, multiple questions we will be getting it, but how to write up the queries are clear. So while writing up the query, what you will give first? Select, then where. So this is what the order you have to give. Okay. So for where, put arrow mark and write it as a clause. Don't leave that. Put arrow mark for the where and write it as a clause. C-L-A-U-S-E, clause. Done, everyone? Okay, so then I will stop here for today. Okay, so thank you so much to everyone. We'll meet up in the next class. Thank you all.